Hey everybody, it's Super Team Exile here with another deck profile from one of our other teammates, Darkness. He's here showing us his Lightsworn deck. We'll begin.
Hello, this is the Darkness. No, I'm just playing with you. Okay, I'm showing you the Lightsworn deck. I'm going to start off with the singles that you keep in the deck. You start off with Gareth, Lightsworn Warrior. He's a good add card, however you don't want too many of him because he'll just be sitting on the field and he won't help with the mill. We have Shire, Lightsworn Spirit. It's good to only run one of her, reason being because you would rather fill up your graveyard than have her in your hand. That way she has a lot of attack power. She's a very big beat stick. Too many will ruin that because you'll just summon her and she'll be weak. Alright, one of the main Lightsworns to have, Lumina, Lightsworn Summoner. She special summons some level 4 lower Lightsworns from your graveyard to the field, but you're only allowed one. For those of you who don't know card rulings or how many cards you can have each in your deck, one. You can only have one Lumina. Alright, only one Arthas, Lightsworn Druid. One, because he's a good mill. Two, depending on the situation, if you got him, he is a good protective card from those that are trying to target your cards with card effects. He's a good shield, especially if you have another card, which I'll talk about later. Alright, you have Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress. She's good also with a combo of a trap card on the field, the Lightsworn Barrier, which I'll talk about later. One you can destroy, and then when she's in defensive mode, you can protect her using Lightsworn Barrier and continue milling from your deck. You can run one or two. I run one, but two is not bad at all because you'll have your back row destruction card. Also, I have Dragoness, Lightsworn Dragon. Reason I have him, people probably don't run him because they think he's just a beat stick, but he is a beat stick. Once you get your graveyard filled with just the right amount, he's probably going to be the strongest monster you have on the field. And people have a hard time taking him out, and they have to waste cards, and then you can save up and summon Judgment Dragon later. Alright, now I have two Erin, Lightsworn Monk. She's good for the mill, and she's also good in case your opponent sets monsters and they happen to play by setting their monsters face down. It's a good way to really ruin some strategies because some people really like to start off with monsters face down. She messes up a lot of things. It's okay to run two, but it's also great to run three. I just can't afford one at the moment. So if you can go for three, go for three. It'll do you just fine. Alright, now we have the ultimate mill beast. We have the Wolf. Now, as you should know, Wolf, when he hits the graveyard, he's special summoned when you mill him from the deck. But one thing people may not notice about him is you can still special summon him from the graveyard even if he's not milled. He's not limited by having to be summoned first. You can still do it anytime you want to as long as he's in the graveyard and then be special summoned. If you can special summon him, you can summon him. There's no ruling against that. Alright, your favorite pet animal? Raikou. Raikou is a destructive card. It destroys anything on the field. And it's a mill card. It helps with your mill. So you need to have three of these. You need to have three because people hate Raikou. They waste cards on Raikou because Raikou is that necessary. We have your Jane. Jane is your 21 beat stick. As soon as Jane hits the field, she can attack a monster, have 2100 attack. She's muscle. It's good to have this kind of muscle at any point in time during a duel. Plus, if you don't choose to attack, she can at least give you a mill. So she is also necessary to have. Now, it's good that I have only two Celestia. I only run two because sometimes you won't have the right kind of monster on the field. You don't want too many high levels in your deck because then you'll just have a bad hand and you won't get your mill started. You need those low levels and then her to really get your mill started for your deck. So it is good to have a large amount of these monsters, but mostly keep some lower level ones. Now we get into the main beat stick of the deck, Judgment Dragon. I run three Judgment Dragons. I have a good friend. He gave me all three of the gold rares. It's a blessing that I have all three of these. Everyone hates Judgment Dragon. They think it's cheap, but if you build your deck right, it won't be the only threat that they'll have to worry about. Alright, now we'll get into the spells for the deck. Okay, let's talk about the Lightsworn spells. Charge of the Light Brigade. You are only allowed one Charge of the Light Brigade. Why? Because it is an add card and a mill card. If it was just an add card, it probably wouldn't be that bad. But it's a very threatening card. Now we have your Solar Recharge. Solar Recharge is your draw card. This is the draw card for the deck. For some strange reason, they haven't limited it, but it's very helpful, especially when you have two or even all three of these cards in your hand, because you can really mill and add to your hand the necessary cards. It's a gamble, but it's good to run it because it's helpful either way, because at least you get the mill, at least. A minor card that I run is Dark World Dealings. One, you can add to your hand something that you might need that's on the top of your deck, and then two, you can go ahead and get rid of a Lightsworn to the graveyard. It puts more Lightsworns in your graveyard so you can get out the King Kong of the deck, Judgment Dragon. It really helps out in that case. I'll talk about other reasons why it helps. We have Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, you can get your wolf out, and you can also get Lightsworn if necessary so that you can summon Judgment Dragon. It's helpful in setting up good strategies. We have the Destruction cards, the necessary cards you will always need to have, Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, the Master Struck cards, but use it wisely. Make sure you use it wisely. Alright, MST. Reason I'm running MST in this deck, even though it could be milled, is because the biggest threat to this type of deck is actually back row. Now you need to be able to have a setup so that you can take care of the back row, because if you get rid of the back row, you can more likely swarm the field much easier as long as your opponent has no back row that threatens you. Okay, so make sure you can get out of the back row. Next we have the trap cards. I had Dust Tornado in here, but I'm thinking about taking it out for something else. It might be a monster, because with too many spells and traps in your deck, you ruin the fact that you're trying to get the monsters to the graveyard rather than your spells and traps. So it really takes away from what you're trying to do. Torrential Tribute, everyone needs a Torrential Tribute, and you get rid of the whole field. If your opponent starts to swarm the daylights out of you, if they ain't got Stardust on the field, Torrential. Get rid of all their crap, you save yourself a lot of trouble. Alright, one card I want one of is Vanquishing Light. This is your solemn warning for the deck, so to speak. You just tribute one Lightsworn. If you build the deck right, you'll swarm real easy. Vanquishing Light, you keep your opponent from something threatening to you, and you can kill them next turn. I also have Glorious Illusions. Glorious Illusions works very well in combination with you having a full graveyard, and you also have Garganus in the graveyard, the big dragon. People don't like him, but he's very good, because once you have your graveyard filled, you have this on your field, special summon him. He has high attack power automatically. You have nothing else to worry about as soon as you get him out. Trap Stun. One of the things that really messes up Judgment Dragon is your opponent using Solemn or Bottomless or any other thing that destroys high level monsters. Trap Stun. They can't do anything to you. They can't touch you. You protect your Judgment Dragon, and then you can destroy their whole back row, and you have nothing else to worry about. Lightsworn Barrier. Only run 2 because you want to be able to swarm. You don't want to be one of those people that's just waiting for something to happen all the time. You don't want to be a stalling duelist. You want to be able to swarm. This is just to help you with your mill and protect certain monsters like Lumina or Arcus. This is a good protective card. Or even Lila, the Lightsworn. It's good to shield those monsters. And this is their trap card. These are your trap cards. These are what you need for those. Now, we get into the ad cards. Now, people like to get Judgment Dragon into the graveyard. But now we have these ad cards to kind of help out in the situation. The main ones, Beckoning Light. Because these are majority light monsters, it is easy to run this. The thing is, you got to make sure you have the right amount of light monsters as you do in your hand cards. That way you can use the card properly and get Judgment Dragon or whatever else you may need for that certain situation back to your hand. Okay? It's good to have at least just 2 of these. You don't need 3. Now we have Divine Dragon Pocrolith. Reason I have him is because he can add Judgment Dragon back to your hand. People may think it would be stupid, but it's very helpful to have other options to adding Judgment Dragon back to your hand in case you lose him or people negate his summon. This is necessary. Or even if you mill him, you need backup so you can have your power. Also, he's a dark monster. And we need the dark monster for this very particular reason, to summon the strongest card in the deck. BLS, Blacklisted Soldier Envoy, the beginning. This is the first one I got. The greatest card in the freaking deck. You need it. Everyone needs to run one of these if you have a light dark deck. Okay? You need to get one. I don't care if you have to waste $50 to get him. Should have got him when he was $5. Now you need your Honest. Your Honest is good in case your opponent wants to attack your Lumina and they think they got balls to want to kill her. Even with her 1,000 Honest, screw their whole entire chances of killing her up. And then you can, use her effect when your turn comes around to special summon the swarm some more. A good protective card for any light monster you have if your opponent is overpowering you. Always have that. Now, we're going to get into the other cards that I have in this deck. 1. Gore's Emissary of Darkness. If you have a bad hand, which this deck can give you, really bad hands, Gore's Emissary is good to have in your hand. So run 1. Plus you get high power on the field in case you're getting dominated in a very bad way. Bring him out. You got yourself protected. Because people mostly like to go for Stardust. For some strange reason, like I'm going to destroy with Judgment Dragon or something. I don't know. But you want to be ready just in case they do something like that. Have that. Now, we're going to talk about the secret strategy that I've built into my deck. Running Dark Worlds. Now, I only run 4. The reason I only run 4 is because due to how fast this deck can really mill itself, you can get the necessary cards into the graveyard. Now, the necessary card you want in your graveyard is Grapha, the card people hate. This is where you can throw off your opponent. Your opponent really won't be suspecting you to be running a Grapha. Now, if you run a Grapha and you're blessed to get 1 or 2 Dark Worlds in your hand, and he's in your graveyard, boom, special summon him, boom, special summon him every time. They can kill him as much as they want to, but they got to kill this to keep you from bringing him back. Unless they banish Grapha. Other than that, you really have a good chance of swarming your field. So, not only do they have to worry about Judgment Dragon, they got to worry about Grapha coming back again, and again to whoop their freaking tail. He may be a fiend, but he's a dragon to me, so that's why I run him. Alright, this is my Dark Lightsworn deck. I hope someone likes the idea and wants to try it. You may even be able to make it better, but it's really worth the try. So go ahead for it.